Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second episode for Recipe for Adventure. In the previous episode, we were brainstorming the broad strokes of our campaign. I'm Freebie Wits, your host, and next to me, in the internet, that is my good friend Sai. Say hello, Sai.
Howdy, everybody.
He failed. He said howdy, not hello. God damn it, Sai. How can you not follow simple orders? He's a rebel.
Rebel with a cause.
All right. So, I was just talking to Sai before this video started that I made a video talking about new ideas, and one of those ideas was Recipe for Adventure, and I did get a couple of comments. I'm just going to quickly read them out. Uh, from user VC4BH2SW7H, which is a bit of a mouthful. How about Yahtzee Crosshaw's Dev Diary, but for D&D campaign creation? I feel that we're exactly doing that. They're asking us to talk about tools, tropes, mechanics, etc. as you create a single one-shot. Edit. Also love the idea of reviewing LARPs and media, even D&D media. There's great examples of poker and media and stock market and media type stuff. So we're just sticking to tools, tropes, mechanics, etc. But instead of just sticking it to a one-shot, we're going to make an entire series about the entire campaign. That said, I'd like to think that if we ever do any one-shots, it'll be for like a Christmas special or something like that, or maybe a completely different system. See what's popular.
Yeah.
Like Sai, I believe, has played in quite a few more systems than I have, or at the very least, uh, ran more systems than I have. You want to talk a bit about that, Sai?
Yeah, no, I've experimented in a number of different campaigns, and systems. I've played naturally D&D, um, started with a small campaign in like edition 3.5. I've played a little bit of Pathfinder's first and second edition. I kind of took stride DMing as of fourth edition D&D into 5e now. Um, I've done a bit of stuff with GURPS, which is the system that does everything to both its advantage and detriment.
Mm-hmm.
I've played a bit of Fate. I've done like Vampire the Masquerade. I DM'd a large portion of Legend of the Five Rings, which is a very like Japanese inspired setting.
Fantastic game. I played in that one. Fantastic DMing there, or GMing, or what do they call it in Legend of the Five Rings? Do they call it a game master?
Um, I do not remember the exact terms they used, but I generally just default to DM or GM for everything.
Mm-mm. Any?
It's the
Yep.
easiest way to do it.
Absolutely. Any other systems you've played and ran?
Um, Off the top of my head, a lot of them are like little smaller one-shot type things. But those are like the big ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Um, and I won't read the entire comment of Gallo Glass Axe. That's the other comment. If anybody wants to read it, they can pause the video and have a look see. But essentially, he's saying that we should do this as a live stream once we have enough followers, or at least saying
Mm.
that this would do better once we have more followers. And we could do that as a live stream and ask the audience questions on what to put in the adventure and stuff like that. And I do like the idea of audience participation, but I think as of right now, I'm happy to just have it as the two of us so we can have a more focused sort of campaign and game, as it were.
I
Like,
mean, if it was for a one-shot, getting doing a live stream with audience participation would be fun.
I, you, I swear it's been done before, but I would love to play a Twitch plays D&D where we run them through a one-person dungeon and they play the schizophrenic. Actually, that's not the right word for it these days. Multiple personality disorder adventurer.
That'd be kind of crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I would love that. They probably wouldn't last very long, but we all thought that about Twitch plays Pokemon, and goodness gracious, they did it.
I mean, that old saying is monkeys with typewriters, right?
Yeah.
You
But
spend long enough at it, eventually they'll succeed. But unlike something like Pokemon, where technically you can theoretically try infinitely, an adventure like D&D does have kind of death conditions, unless part of the adventure had some sort of respawn or restart mechanic.
that's a good point, actually. Yeah, I suppose makes me think of Hades, where all the
Mm,
defeats and stuff like that are canon to the story, and it's all the like it's arguably the point of the story as well. All those failures, it's very Sisyphean, which is fun because Sisyphus is actually in the game. Um. Anyway, so I'm thinking maybe for the second episode, we work on the starting area. Um. Now we had made Al the main quest giver. So I'm thinking we do something about him and his town and stuff like that. So if you just come over to the untitled document, so I think you have access to the actual folder itself, campaign one recipe for adventure. Actually,
yep.
is there? Can you see a untitled document? Oh, there is. What? What? Where is the untitled document? That's weird. Hang on. Let me just.
Is it the brainstorming document?
No, no, no. It should be
Oh, it's a
a.
separate one.
Yeah, hang on. Let me see. I've just right clicked and created a new one, but it's not. Hang on. Let me just rename it something. Maybe it has to save or something. Let's say.
It having a name would probably help. Yes.
Yeah, okay. What should we name the document? Should we name it after the town that they start in? Uh,
Ooh,
yeah. What?
that's probably. I mean, for the
How?
time being, I would call it starting town.
Oh, okay. Starting town. I was about to say, do we want to be cliche and literally just call it starting town or like pallet town? Like it's a clean palette, so it's saving right now.
Well, I would avoid the Pokemon by
Naming
just
scheme.
slightly going over and call it Slate Town instead of Pallet Town. A clean slate.
Oh, okay. Let's call it. All right, starting town document should be visible to you now, and I'm gonna rename it to Slate Town. All right. Ooh, slate. Oh, slate. Slate's a type of stone, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. So can you see the document, Slate Town or Starting Town?
I'm trying to look. I am in. Up there it is. Cool.
So
I'm pulling it open now.
Starting Town, inhabitants. So obviously, to begin with, we have Al Alchemist. Okay. Areas of note. So do we want to what kind of house, mansion, or like facility do we want Al to have? Do we want to make it a proper potion shop?
Yeah, for some reason in my head,
Yeah.
I 100% imagined Owl in a tower, like an
Or
alchemist's tower.
okay.
So whether there is a shop at the bottom or not, I think would be cool. But just the idea of having like a shop and there's just like this tower spire coming out of it with like various little tubes and such poking out of it
Mm-mm.
with like various colored smoke that pour out at different points in time during the day. I think that's a really cool image because I don't know about you, but I have the image that Al is like very studious and potentially well known, but not like famous well known.
He's that eccentric guy that's like, oh yeah, have you passed by the Alchemist Tower? You mean like the Rainbow Tower? Oh yeah, let's
Yeah,
let's give it a nickname, Rainbow Tower.
I'm fine with the Rainbow Tower.
Rainbow Tower, just because it belches all the different
All
colored smoke.
because yeah, he's like you don't know like you could walk past and be like, oh, did you see? It's the rare orange smoke today.
Yeah. It's like maybe the people's like, oh, green smoke. It's lunchtime, guys. Must be lunchtime. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a landmark, even if people don't know what it's for. Um,
yeah.
like in Brisbane, we used to have the Department of Justice building that looked like Batman, and everybody used to call it the Batman building, even though they didn't know it was the Department of Justice, which is very fitting that it's literally the Department of Justice
Hmm.
until they took the ears down or something. It's very sad. Wait, hang on. Does the Department of Justice still have those ears, or are they gone? Am I just imagining?
I haven't walked by it to have a look anytime recently, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Ah, seriously, whoever made the Department of Justice building literally look like Batman, mwah, genius. Or maybe they had to take it down because it was like copyright infringement. Actually, yeah, that would be sad if that was true. Anyways, I do want to say he does have a shop at the bottom because I do like the idea. Even if the numbers don't quite match up, like from a narrative standpoint, it gives reason why he has number one, a stack of potions ready available, number two, ready to sell, and number three, why he has all this money because he's got to pay the players somehow.
Yeah,
So
I,
we'll say he's rich. I'd say.
like I would not say rich by like noble scale, but like successful.
Okay, successful enough that yeah, okay, that he can pay for like diamond dust and stuff like that. Like, I think for all intents and purposes, like 1,000 gold, it's considered rich in D&D. But like by adventurer standards, like you
I,
need
I
like hundreds of
yeah,
thousands to buy like a flaming sword or something. I'm pretty sure.
I'm fairly sure the general gist, like, and the joke is the good old adventurer's tax,
Yeah,
which is
right.
adventurers have so much money that all the merchants just naturally upcharge to anyone who looks like one.
Oh, it's a bit sad, isn't it?
I
Oh,
I mean, like on the other hand, it's like anything that costs thousands of dollars is something that probably shouldn't be in the hand of a random peasant anyway.
mm-mm.
Like if you have a book that can explode people, it probably shouldn't belong to John, the cow farmer down the road.
How much are health potions? Because they're not. I mean, they are like when you're level one, reasonably expensive.
Uh,
But
They,
once,
they are, I believe, the standard price for a regular health potion is 50 gold pieces,
yeah,
which is a lot
mm-mm.
for like a farmer. I believe the way that that's kind of gotten around is the idea that the health potion is miraculous, right? It
Yeah,
heals you instantly.
yeah. It's literally
It is,
life-saving stuff.
yeah. So it is quite possible there are like salves and stuff which work over like several days.
I'm pretty sure there's like okay, let's see, herbalism kits
Hmm.
are. I'm looking through the book right now. 5 gold pieces, which
Yeah,
probably expensive. There's a healer's kit somewhere.
I
Uh,
love the healer's kit, and you know exactly why.
it's just so useful. 5 gold pieces as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean, in real life, like a first aid kit, like a proper good professional one, can be reasonably expensive.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure if like we converted it more directly, the healer's kit in D&D would be still considered more expensive, but not by much, I'd say.
yeah.
Um,
It's like um, when you think about like the prices of food and such, um, like a good high class meal is like 2 gold, maybe
mm,
5 gold for like the really good stuff.
that's like 50 to $100 in real life, maybe, depending on what it
Yeah,
is. Maybe even
yeah,
200 if you're like getting really rare stuff, and even 1,000. Yeah, yeah, real life food stuff. Yeah, it's
yeah. I know there's a steak place in the city where it's got like $300 steaks
Jeez, you mean like $300 per kilo? Or $300 for the plate?
for the. I think it is for the plate, but
Gee,
we are talking like the best goddamn steaks money can buy.
jeez, I think the most expensive steak I've had was like $99, and that was, hmm. magnificent for what it was, but like $300, jeez.
Yeah, I remember looking it up because when when my parents were coming down to visit, I was like considering places to maybe take them. And I'm like, what's a good high quality place to get like some good steaks? And I'm like, that's a
That's a bit
that's a
much.
little bit it's a little expensive.
That's a bit much, yeah. Ah, uh, talk to me later, and I can always give more suggestions. But it sounds like you've already sorted it, eh?
Well, no, that's ages ago. That was planning for that.
Oh, okay.
That's happened years ago by now.
Well, okay.
That's fine.
I'm
That was just me researching at the time.
okay. All right. So, anyways, the Alchemist Tower, owned by
Hmm.
Al, can't have a town without a bar or an inn or drinking establishment.
Like
Uh,
the tavern slash inn is one of like the fantasy classics.
yeah, it's just
The
an.
place where you go drink and you can get rooms for board while you're traveling.
All right. What do we want to call this one?
Hmm. So we got if we're thinking of Slate Town, hmm. Part of me wants to go with like some sort of rock based pun.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
And
Uh,
like as soon as I start thinking of a rock based pun, I start to immediately start getting a bit of like dwarvish heritage, like pushing in there slightly.
the
Though
Salt and
also rock
Lick.
gnome. That sounds nice.
Salt and Lick Tavern. Oh, wait, no, tavern's mostly just for drinking. Inn, I suppose. The Salt and Lickin'. and it's owned by a dwarf, I guess.
Yeah, like
Ah,
I immediately think of you know how there's almost like when you think of the bar and inn,
yeah?
like you think of going upstairs to get to the rooms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Instead, it's
Oh.
going downstairs into like the really well made like dwarven style rooms, which are
Mm-mm.
kept nice and cool because they're actually underground.
So it looks like a one-story place, but it has multiple levels that go underground into what do you call them? You don't call them hotel rooms, you call them guest rooms to the guest areas below where the drinking. There we go. Looks like a one-story place, but has multiple levels that go underground into the. Wait, so are we thinking Slate Town might be a cool place or a hot place? An underground.
Uh, well, I'm thinking of it more of just like like the kind of just like the Salt Lake Inn at least,
Yeah.
just very dwarven style. Because
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea that a lot of dwarves will have like a top floor to a building and then go down, whereas a
Mm-hmm.
lot of races start from the ground floor and then go up. And just because right now we have two buildings, one which starts on the ground and goes up, and then a building which starts on the ground and goes down. And I think that kind of interesting verticality could be kind of fun to play with, but I probably don't want to go too far for our little starting town.
No, no, we're just writing. Like, if we want to go on depth on any building, it'll be the Alchemist Tower
Hmm.
at the best. But yeah, okay, we could give the broad strokes. Anything else about the Sultan Lakin? So it's owned by a dwarf. Um,
We can develop who the dwarf is in a short bit.
hmm,
Wait, I think we should just work on the buildings
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for
okay.
now. But anything else special about the inn? I
Uh,
mean,
made of stone, made of
of course.
stone, and despite the owner's protests to the contrary, people still lick it as they believe it'll taste like salt. It doesn't, but it doesn't stop them from claiming otherwise.
That's. Imagine if you go in there and there is actually like a somewhat salty smell.
Yeah, I imagine
But
that's just from the sweat or something like that. It's like
yeah,
it just makes people believe it's called the salt and lickin'. I wonder if the walls taste like real salt. And like I can imagine like drunk people actually thinking that, giving it a
mm,
go, and the owner going, "Stop that! You're licking over. Oh, I've got to clean that part again. Don't stop it. Oh,
like it could be that, or the other reason could be that it is somewhat near the coast,
okay."
and so there's a natural salty breeze that
And
makes
they
its way over.
and they sort of associate the smell with the taste. Okay. Um, so what would you call that? Not areas of note. It's called features.
Yeah,
Features.
I would, yeah, like a coastal town.
Coastal town with a nice salty breeze. And I do like. I've always liked starting towns that start near big areas of water, if only because it allows players to sort of customize on how they get there.
Also, the opportunity to fight on boats is always nice.
Oh yes, mobile battle areas, always enjoy that. Okay, so if it is a coastal town, perhaps we could have uh, some sort of famous docks or like a main dock or a port area. Is
Yeah,
do we
like
how
I
big is
think
the town actually? Should probably
I don't imagine this town to be exceptionally large. I'm feeling more of like a,
small to medium.
yeah, small to medium, not tiny. It is still a town, but
Oh,
like a small to medium town. Um, I like if I had to put a number to like the population, I'd say somewhere to like 3 to 5,000 people.
thousand. I'll just say 4,000 ish population.
Like there's a lot of people, but overall it's like not too many.
All
It's
right,
not enough for it to be a city.
all right. In that case, yeah, we'll say 4,000 uh strong population at any roughly 4,000 strong population at any time. Uh, putting into account the constant uh visitors coming and going. 'Cause it's a port town, so they probably do a
Yeah,
lot of trade.
yeah. I imagine with a port, trade does flow through a lot via the waters.
How many, and this is probably less important, it's just background
Mm.
knowledge. Um, how many permanent, how much of the population would be permanent? Okay.
Well, I mean, I'd still have a large permanent population, but what you can do is set up like a kind of split district. Um, a lot of fantasy maps, which I've seen, which have like ports attached to them, have like a port district and then like an actual residential district. And the port district has a lot of like temporary residences, a lot of pubs, a lot of bars, all this that kind of stuff, where all of the temporary residents flow into and flow out of. And then once you get a bit further away from the water, is where you get the actual like people who live there.
Would we say the Sultan Lick Inn is like on the edge of the port district or even in it?
I would probably say on the edge.
Okay. All right. So it's not in the port district quite yet. Edge of the port district. So we would say the Alchemist Town, the Salt Lick Inn are both what do you call it? In the residential district.
Yeah.
Uh obtain more permanent residents. I hope I spelled that right. And I'm just gonna nudge it over. Go. Port
Yep.
district.
Well,
Central district contains permanent oh whatever. Contains more tourist trading and temporary residences. So I would say it doesn't mean they're like tents or anything. It's like you said,
No,
they're essentially more inns and stuff like that.
yeah,
More
like
taverns.
the residential district would still have inns and such,
Yeah,
but
they're more
um,
they're more cater to either the locals or people who have business with the locals more.
yeah, people are here for a bit longer stays.
All right, so this
Um,
I would say maybe the Sultan Lick Inn doesn't get as many people staying for the accommodation as much.
yeah,
So I'm gonna write that down actually. Doesn't get too many guests, but is a popular spot for drink.
yeah. Like I imagine with it being on the edge, you'll get the occasional like the rough sailors who wander their way over during a pub crawl and end up, and they're the ones who go about like licking the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, it's called the Sultan Lick Inn. Why wouldn't it taste salty? Stop it! Stop it now! Alright, so the Port District contains more tourist trading and temporary residences. Okay, what kind of touristy spots can we imagine in this place?
Well, first off, one of the first things, like, I wouldn't call it touristy,
Oh,
but I could imagine there being some sort of an arcade or a bazaar that's like a like a trading hub.
oh, that makes sense. So, what would we call it? The Bloodstone Bazaar,
Ooh, Bloodstone Bazaar sounds cool.
because you can't squeeze blood from a stone. You know me and my puns.
Hmm. But yeah, just like imagine like coming to visit and like there's like little bazaar area that's like a good chunk of like the port district overall in terms of like size because of like spacing, but like people come in and like make their way to the various merchants who've got, you know, they're like temporary stores set up in this nice little zone. And so there'll be like one week you'll go there and there's like a merchant who's selling like jewelry, and then the next week you go there and there's some guy who's selling like some weird dish from half the world like away.
All right, in that case, I'm going to make a note here. Would make table on what kind of vendors are available.
Yeah, make it feel kind of like a, ooh, I wonder what's there this time.
A living, breathing. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Make it feel like Aldi, like center store areas.
Hmm.
You go there for eggs and milk, you come out with a lawnmower. Not that I've ever done that, but like seriously, the stuff you find in that middle stall area can be crazy sometimes. I
You
saw,
just go searching and just come out with whatever the hell.
yeah, I've seen them sell electric scooters there once for a
Huh.
pretty decent price too. Never did it, but very surprising. All right, so lots of temporary stores. Is there anything it's particularly known for? Anything like, is it just the chaos that it's known for? Like lots of temporary stalls and whatnot?
Uh, I mean, if we're calling it the Bloodstone Bazaar, I kind of want to have in the center an actual like large rock
Yep.
that has like red cracks in it that make it look like it is bleeding.
Oh, center of the marketplace. Hang on. I'm doing the Americanized spelling.
It's fine.
Center of the marketplace is a landmark. Bloodstone. Bazaar. Name. Large rock. A red crack in it that looks like blood at a certain angle. It's
Yeah.
actually just rust.
Yeah. but that's still like that feels like a nice little centerpiece, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's literally a landmark. It's like, oh, I'll meet you by the Bloodstone, a large rock. So you know, what, I'm actually gonna put like mechanics to this thing. Takes up 4 squares,
Okay, yeah,
so it's
all right.
literally large.
That suggests that it's gonna have to be on a map at some point.
Exactly. Oh, I
We'll
mean,
have to work out something with that at some point.
it's a bizarre. Like the easiest thing we can say is the players get robbed and they get their money back.
Yeah.
Lots of temporary stalls and send the marketplace. Do we want a consistent character there? Like one that no matter what all the other stalls do, I mean, I kind of want to put
One
like,
consistent shop, right?
yeah, one consistent shop. Yeah.
So should it be some sort of like general goods seller? Should it be like a particular food stall that's just existed forever?
I,
Like maybe some sort of like elven store where it's just like all the other merchants move on to explore new horizons, and then just I'll get around to moving in 100 years or so.
yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. Has one consistent stall owned by an elf named. What do we know? Name him.
Hmm.
What do we name them?
How about like Don Zale? Like
Don Sale. You know, I kind of like the idea of this guy, Donzale, being like so androgynous. Nobody's sure if it's a he or she, and nobody asks because they're not sure and they don't want to be rude.
oh, yeah, yeah, I can see it. Just like the ephemeral beauty, where it's like either a really hot guy or a really hot gal, maybe somewhere in between, maybe both, maybe not. We're not sure. It's just the kind of thing we deal with it.
Nobody can tell their sex is, and nobody wants to be rude and ask. And what does he sell? She sell? He sell? They sell? What do they sell?
Sea cells by the seashore. Um,
I am tempted. No, no, we are not
no.
making this up. We could.
Um, what? Well, actually, why don't we lean into the joke a bit?
Oh,
And it's not so much shells, but rather they like have a special dish with like oysters and clams.
oh, yeah.
Um, what is that one recipe? The recipe which has like stones and such, like a soup involving like clams that I believe like sea stones and stuff put inside to help flavor it.
Stone Stoop, eh? Okay. Um.
Um,
Oh, it's
uh,
literally there's literally something called sea stone soup. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
What is a stone soup? Um. Hang on.
so um, basically, the idea behind like stone soups is like you get stones that soak in like water, like ocean water, and it like soaks in like the fish brine. So
Oh.
you put it into like the soup, and the fish brine like seeps out of the stone and into the soup.
Oh.
Um, and I remember like there is some sort of like I remember it was something along the idea that it used to be that a lot of people would do like oyster and clam type recipes because they would get like that really fishy kind of flavor across. But at some point in time, they started to run out of them. This is going off the top of my head. I could be wrong about this, but I believe it's like when they started to run out of like the clams, the oysters, people started just using stones instead to
Yeah.
take up like to get that flavor across. But I'm thinking probably doing the actual
I'm thinking
like
like he just does whatever like whatever the flow gives him. Like, so
yeah
I've written down sell soups and stews using local ingredients from the bazaar. often gets local flavors such as oysters, clams, and other shellfish.
Yeah. But like imagine going to like the bazaar and then you just get like the smell of like these like this like seashell oyster soups. And like maybe even at times the clams are so large that the clam shell is used as the soup bowl.
Oh, shell bowls.
Like that gives a really like oceany kind of flavor to it all.
Yeah, I like it.
And you could imagine going there and like people like come to the bazaar, like searching around, and then just leave with a giant clamshell filled with like special soup.
Sometimes uses stones. Sometimes they use stones from the seafloor that's been soaked with brine. Giant clam shards are used as the bowls. Yeah, there's a lot of flavor in there. Like he could
Yeah.
be, they could be Donzel. Donzel could be
Hmm.
like the local favorite person. Like once again, not famous, but they are part of the community, much like Al is his
Yeah.
alchemist tower.
It's like just like the local like bazaar chef that just never leaves.
Oh, if
Just
you
like
visit
constant.
Slate Town, you've got to try this the soup from Donzale's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I love that. I love that idea. Okay. So he sells soups and stews using local ingredients from the bazaar. All right. So we've got a bazaar.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, because they do a lot of soups and stuff, I am starting to imagine it is coastal, but I am starting to imagine slightly colder environment.
okay.
And
So
that ties into the underground rooms in the Salton Lake Inn, where it's like kept warm by the natural warmth of the earth.
oh right, I didn't write that part then. Okay. The guests below are insulated by the earth
Yeah,
and are naturally warmer.
yeah. Like when I say colder environment, I don't necessarily mean like snows, but like maybe you'll get like some snow in the winter, but like a naturally colder place. Like well, we live in Australia, so I guess kind of what I imagine Victoria is like.
I've been to Melbourne, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cold there. Like,
Yeah,
maybe maybe Tasmania levels of cold, or
maybe.
that bit
Yeah,
much.
where I mean, like what I imagine is like it is naturally cooler there, and like some of the nights can get it like that nippy chill to it, where it's like ho- I don't expect hot summers. I expect like warm summers from this place.
All right, all right. Um,
That's the vibe I'm getting as we keep making ideas. I'm getting kind of like a slightly cooler environment because if soups are big, like that's a lot of like warmth.
yeah, yeah.
And so if it is slightly colder there, that warmth is more like valuable, more important.
So it's not exact, but like you said, it's not exactly a consistently snowy place. It's like
No,
snow there a quarter time of the year.
yeah. Like the winters will get snow.
Yeah.
But like all the other time, it's just generally like a cooler environment.
Mm-mm. All right, so let's talk about the temporary residences. Like, what are we thinking
Yeah.
for them? Like, what's the big famous one there? Like, I kind of want it to be like a casino place as well.
Ah, the casino. Yeah. Like someplace for gambling.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't I probably wouldn't say a full on casino. It is still a smaller town, but
Right.
I could definitely imagine a tavern well known for its like gambling scene.
So it's not in of itself like a casino, but you're saying like the inhabitants have naturally say, "Hey, we're gonna play cards at this place,"
Yeah,
and then the owners don't really get money from it specifically beyond like people just buying drinks as they get thirsty. Not
yeah, it's like the place to be to gamble.
okay, okay. I get
Uh,
that. What do we want to call this? The Pearl, maybe? I know it's very generic, but like the Pearl.
the Pearl. maybe the Pearl.
You seem to have reservations about the name.
Well, no, I'm just thinking. I kind of want to add something like another word to the Pearl,
Oh, okay.
like 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 the sunken pearl,
The Lucky
like the gle
Pearl,
the lucky pearl. I like the lucky pearl because that will lean into like the gambling angle attached to it.
Lucky Pearl. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to, well, the owners, and I'm going to say owners because I like the idea of having it two, at least two owners. While the
Yeah,
owners don't advertise it as such, the Lucky Pearl is the go-to place to gamble. Don't advertise such or directly profit from it. Okay, here we go. While the owners don't advertise it as such or directly profit from it, the Lucky Pearl known is known as the go-to place to gamble. Oh, hang on, is known. There we go.
I fixed it. Oh,
Oh, oh no. Okay, okay, okay.
I'll let you do it. I'll let you do it. I won't touch it. My bad. My
Oh no,
bad.
the lucky little pearl is okay. Is known as the go-to place to gamble. Okay, there we go. We're good.
Yep. I'm
Uh,
sorry. I touched it. I apologize.
no, it's okay. These things happen. This is what happens when you have two owners, which the lucky pearl has. Um,
Yep.
so what do we want to like make the two owners? Do we want to make them like family or like business partners?
I could imagine like a husband and wife duo.
Mm-mm-mm. Husband and wife duo. Husband and wife duo. What races do we want to make them?
Hmm. I mean, we've so far we've dealt with like the standard like human. Um,
Is
I
it
believe Al is a gnome.
the
We've
gnome?
got
Yep.
like a dwarf.
Yep. We've got a
We have
dwarf.
an elf now. We touched upon a lot of like the standard races. Maybe we want to like duck into one of the more esoteric
Mer.
special races.
It's not the most esoteric, but if we're going something outside of the player's handbook, maybe
Yeah.
the merfolk.
The Tritons in particular,
Tritons,
maybe.
that's what they're called, yes.
Yeah, the Tritons. Um, they've got like the webbed fingers and all that. Very prideful at times, but like they've got like that very distinct look to them.
Oh, they're prideful. I kind of wait. I'm gonna write a little brief thing about them. Uh, are
Like
ups.
typically a Triton is a bit prideful of themselves, but yeah, upset they didn't come up with the idea. Yeah,
Right, officially uh, profit off it.
and that's a nice little bit of like character there. Where it's like we didn't come up with the idea, so we will not profit off it. It was not our idea.
Yeah, yeah. Like
That's a nice like character that we can kind of delve into when we properly build the
I
NPCs.
can imagine, like in another quest, like the players help them, they'll accept it, but they won't like fully accept it per se. They'll like
Yeah.
try to like pay the players back or something like that.
Hmm.
Like they just don't accept help as like they don't just accept profit where profit is per se.
They earn their profit.
Exactly, they want to earn what they have. So I can imagine not necessarily being ungrateful to players if they ever get saved, but
No,
just being very transactional about it.
it'd be like, hey, you saved us. You get free drinks next time you come over.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's like we're even now or something. Well, not
Yeah,
even just free drinks, like lots of free drinks or whatever.
yeah,
It's like we're even now.
yeah. We'll make sure you get drunk and get home safely.
Mm-mm. Husband wife duo trines are upset. Hang on. Very proud. Full are upset that. Yep, there we go. Yep. So just who are upset that they didn't come up with the idea to make. Yep. Okay. What else can we talk about Lucky Pearl? Or is like, it's. Oh wait, did we say it was an inn or a tavern?
I'm leaning more towards just a tavern.
The Lucky Pearl Tavern. Okay. So
Yeah,
they're just there for the drinks and such, not
yeah,
necessarily as a place to stay.
yeah. But I imagine the Lucky Pearl Tavern. I'm immediately thinking that there's like a constant like singer, like they have like a dedicated bard or something.
Oh, a dedicated.
Like I'm even half thinking like of the husband wife duo. Maybe the husband serves the drinks and the wife is like the performer.
Mm. Ooh, what if we swap that around? Because that seems like the cliche. Like,
The cliche. So yeah, the wife is the one who serves the drinks, and then the husband is like some sort of underwater rock star.
serves the drinks and the husband, the who is the bard who provides live music and entertainment. Okay, yep, there we go.
I'm immediately like thinking like, okay, now that the husband's the one playing, I'm like, I'm kind of feeling some slightly either like jazzy vibes or maybe like Elvis rock vibes.
You know, like Tritons have like the fins on their heads sometimes. He could have
Yeah,
like the pompadour, but instead of a pompadour, it's just a fin.
yeah, he's got like the cool like back fin, almost like the Yondu kind of like fin on the head that like
Yeah.
arcs forward. Yeah,
Oh, this ain't no gambling den that we came up with. It is what it is. Hear me? Now, hands off the wife. Hear me, adventurers? You do a good turn by us, we do a good turn by you. Oh my god, this is gonna be terrible if I do this.
we're nothing but a swordfish. We're nothing but a scamp.
The Lucky Pearl Tavern.
Yeah,
If I
I
remember, yeah,
I think that could be I think that could be a fun kind of like thing.
a little side. Yeah. Okay, so um, the Port District has two, and that can be like the touristy and the temporary residents as well. Like both of these have like some level of touristy stuff
Yeah.
to them, like the Bloodstone Landmark, the Elvis Presley Pompadour Singer. Uh,
Hmm.
okay, so what other
Yeah.
districts does this have? Let's look away from the coastal areas and more
Yeah.
inland.
Um, like in terms of districts, I imagine there's probably going to be some sort of farming district, even
Okay.
if it is smaller.
They like feels like a very industrious town. Like they have a lot of fishing and like trade that way. Actually, would they have much fishing? Like I know they have like clams and oysters and stuff like that.
There would be some fishing, I imagine. Like if you are on the coast, you probably do some of the fishing yourself.
Okay. I know that's not true for all port cities because some of it's just that polluted and or
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
dangerous to fish in, but like that
Yeah.
doesn't
We don't
seem like.
have to worry about pollution here, thankfully.
Yeah, I would argue otherwise, necrotic energies and whatnot, that's a thing. But
Okay. Um.
but like uh dangerous creatures, so like maybe it's not safe to fish
Yeah.
because there's
Well,
like
if it's too dangerous to fish, it would also possibly be too dangerous for trade ships to come through.
no, I just thought of that as soon as it was out of my mouth. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. All right. We'll not focus on that too much. We'll just
yeah,
assume yes, there is fishing happening.
yeah.
Um
Like, but yeah, like as I was about to suggest, like a farming district, but not like a large one, like a couple of, outskirt farmers, right?
okay, so farming district at mall, okay, mall and on the outskirts. So, what do we consider places of note? Do we want to? I think so. Even though it is technically part of the town, we can
Hmm.
consider this like a remote part of town. And I'm thinking
Yeah.
in our brainstorming area, we were talking about the little halfling who had the five-leaf
Yeah.
clover. Maybe we could put him here somewhere. What do we want to call this halfling?
Hmm.
Do we just call him Lucky if we really want to like?
I don't want to just call him Lucky
Well, okay. Let
because
let's let's not let's not look at the character. Let's look at the farm itself. Like,
yeah,
and he happens to have a garden patch filled with like the five-leaf clover. So,
yeah,
what do we want to call the farm? Because like usually they're named after families, like um,
yeah,
Bradbroke Farms or whatever.
yeah. What's a good halfling name? Because like the halflings are very much hobbits, right? Like
Pretty much.
they are hobbits by another name.
They are hobbits. Completely original. Please don't sue us, J.R.R.
Yeah,
Tolkien.
yeah. So it's like a lot of like the hobbit stuff is like stout and proudfoot and um hmm maybe like humble nose or something.
Humble Nose doesn't really stick out
Uh,
to me. Uh,
yeah, trying to think of a good halfling surname.
I'm struggling.
Is
You see, when we get more
yeah,
popular, eventually we'll just have comments out of the wazoo for like different names and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, how about something like weird like Silvertoe?
Silvertoe, okay.
The Silvertoe Farms.
Silver Toes Farm. Okay, what? Well, so obviously they have the a garden patch filled with five leaf clovers. Uh, but like, what would their main thing be? Like, do we just want to be lazy and say grains or like carrots or? Actually, no. What goes with seafood really well as a vegetable for their soups and stuff like that? Potatoes?
Potatoes technically is definitely the I mean, a good old fish and chips is definitely
Oh yeah, and it's a cold town as well. Slate Town is fairly
yeah,
cold. Potatoes,
yeah, yeah.
potato.
Potatoes is really like it's great for that.
Okay,
I can imagine some stuff like maybe some tomatoes and carrots as well.
but it's mostly potatoes, would you say, or do you think it's a good mix?
Um, well, I was thinking, what if we kind of reverse it?
Oh,
And he's not growing, or he's not growing like potatoes or something. Because I'm like he's growing clover, right?
yeah.
And I'm like, there are certain like livestock that get fed like clover.
Oh,
Cattle and sheep
oh,
uh
okay.
often graze on clover.
So it's
So
not.
maybe he is a sheep farmer.
Oh, okay. So sheep farmer. And so would you say there's tons of the five leaf clovers or just small garden patch and
Well, like he probably has a lot of like regular clover,
yep,
but he has like a special cultivated patch of five leaf clover that maybe he feeds his prized animal. His prized
special.
sheep gets the special five leaf.
Oh, I like that. Cultivated patch filled with five leaf clovers for his prized sheep. I do want to give the sheep. You know what? This is. I'm coming up with a quest already. Like the halfling is willing to give up the five leaf clovers, but only if they save his kidnapped sheep.
Yeah,
All right, so
and
he's a
like
sheep farmer.
that's a fun little like low level sounding quest, right? Like
Yeah,
rescue my god, rescue my sheep.
prized sheep, and has the softest wool. Okay, wait. Has a very soft wool. If harvested, can be made into clothing.
And like the wool for like a colder kind of environment also kind of helps with the village.
All right, has very soft wool. If harvested, can very soft, high quality. The wool, if harvested, can be made into clothing that provides a bonus to cold.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, yeah. I imagine like if you wanted to get like even crazier, you could like have a very special like woolen jacket that actually gives you straight up cold resistance as a nice like reward if they do extra well. But like even just like cold weather gear would be great.
straight up provides, yeah.
Yeah, like if it's wool from the special sheep, it is so good at like resisting the cold that you straight up just get cold resistance while wearing the special sheep jacket.
Mm-mm. Okay. Oh, so we don't have to. So it just we'll just say it provides a bonus cold.
Yeah,
Resistance. Yes. Resistance. All right. So what do we? So obviously his last name is Silvertoes.
yeah.
What?
It would be. It would. I would make it one word. Oh,
Oh yeah, I like that. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Silvertoes is just one word. Silvertoes Farm.
Yep. Oh, we could just call him Silvertoes then. Or what do we want to call? So he doesn't have to be a wizard or anything, but I do want to give him
Yeah.
the lucky feet.
Oh yeah. Um. May.
Silvertoes,
Yeah.
sheep, farmer, halfling, with the lucky feet.
Yeah.
So he gets rerolls and not.
Yeah. Just because it's like if you're looking for like a special five leaf like leaf clover, your first thought is not going to be go track down the sheep farmer.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, do we need to give the sheep a name? What do we call the sheep?
Um, damn it! Why is it the first time I'm like, what's the name of a sheep? The first thing that comes to mind is lamb chop. I'm like, well, no, there's a very famous sheep called lamb chop.
I thought that was a puppet, but yes.
It is a puppet.
I think I had a my sister had a friend who didn't want to who became vegetarian because they didn't want to eat lamb chops.
Yeah.
When they were like little. Um, that is not the name I expected, but I do love it. Well, this is a halfling. Like, what's their thought process like? Yeah, what would they call a sheep? Like, would they give them another halfling name?
Um, I could imagine the sheep being called like Jumper.
Oh my god, yes. Named Jumper. Okay, yep,
Uh,
excellent.
uh, Even better if they think, oh, it's because they're going to turn his wool into a jumper. And no, he's called Jumper because he just has a really like large spring. He's a really good jumper, and he could hop the fences. When they first got him, he would jump the fences a lot.
That's how he kept getting into the five-leaf clover garden.
Yeah,
Because he was like cultivating it for a different reason than the sheep kept getting in and eating it all.
and eventually becoming like the sheep with the best wool.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that's how he keeps the other sheep out of like the pen because like the pen doesn't have any doors, anything like that. It just stays like that. And
It's
Jumper,
just Jumper could get over.
yeah, it's Jumper's personal like feeding grounds.
Yep.
Hatch has a fence with no door, so only Jumper out of all the other sheep can get in and out whenever they want. Yes. Ah, I love it. Okay, can jump really good.
I can immediately imagine they track down the sheep. It's been kidnapped by whatever, and then they follow the bleatings of the sheep and just find Jumper in a tree,
Yes.
surrounded by whatever tried to kidnap it in the first place.
We could just say goblins, I think. Goblins is like the nice, easy one. But
I
yes,
mean, I don't want a hard set in goblins just yet,
something low
but
level.
yeah, yeah, something like goblins. something that's kidnapped it. We can work out the exact details when we get to that point. But yeah, just I like the idea of just Jumper's so good at jumping, they're almost like a goat.
Have you seen those pictures with goats and trees?
Mm-hmm.
It just cracks me up. I love it so much.
I know. I think we had an entire 15, 20-minute break at one point where you just kept sending me and everyone else were chatting at the time pictures of goats and trees.
It was so good. I don't know why it broke me when they showed me the first time, but I just couldn't help it. It was so
You
good.
just kept searching more pictures and laughing, and then finding another picture and then laughing, and you just wouldn't stop laughing.
Okay, I'm gonna. You know what? No, no, I'm not gonna look up any pictures of goats in trees or sheeps in trees because knowing me, it'll exist, and I'll have to edit the hell out of this video even more. Okay, okay.
Yes, for safety's sake, let's avoid it.
Safe to say, I'll do it later after the
Yeah,
video. After the video.
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay. So, um, so the general idea, and we don't have to put this in yet. This can be like literally session one. Um,
Mhm.
Whoever goes to kidnap the sheep, um,
Well, wasn't our general thoughts
yeah,
for finding this is that they don't know about Silvertoe's farm.
yeah.
They have to go to like some druids, and then the druids are like, "Oh, wait, you came from Slate Town? No, the clovers you seek are in Slate Town. Just go to the Silvertoes farm." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
I don't think we. I mean, it was mentioned, like
We,
druids were mentioned, but I
yeah,
don't think we wrote it down, did we?
no. Oh, actually, I can have a look. Were druids mentioned? No, I don't think it was mentioned. We didn't delve that far. I think it was more of just me tossing that out as an idea
I don't.
because we want two levels of adventure from it, right?
That's a good
So
point.
I suppose, depending, we can level people up pretty quickly to level 2
I
with a
think
nice little fight or two at the start.
I think it's I think we can keep it like really, really straightforward to make it sound like a milk run. Like
Yeah.
Al the alchemist will say, "Hey, my first ingredient is from a local farmer. Can you go pick up the order? I've already
Okay.
paid."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that could work.
And then when they get there, right? Um, Silvertoes refuses to honor the deal because he's so distraught and upset by Jumper like being kidnapped. And says, like, I will like not only will I honor uh the original deal, but I will also give you some wool from Jumper himself if you help me, like my prize sheep, like
Okay.
best wool in Slate Town, 10 years running. Actually, how old can sheep get?
Well, that's a question I do not immediately know the answer to.
We can.
How old can sheep live? 10 to 12 years.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll say, yeah. Then we'll say, yeah, provides the best wool 10 years running. Best wool 10 years running. Best wool 10 years running. Okay, there we go. It doesn't have to be exactly a jacket that they make out of the wool. It could be a
No,
cloak or
or a
just
scarf.
or even a scarf. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Um, but
If
it
one of the
will.
players likes punching things, maybe they just get super mittens.
Yeah, I was about to say mittens. That would be hilarious. I do like the idea of something just being so high quality, even if it's not in
The full ensemble is still enough.
like,
Yeah,
or even like that. Even though it's not inherently magical, it gives magical effects.
yeah,
Like some of those materials in real life, like the waterproof stuff that just water
mhm.
just literally runs off, could be a magic item
I
if like
mean, they do say that a sufficiently advanced science is indistinguishable from magic.
no, this is true. This is true. Okay, okay. All right, so this is we've created Silvertongue, the farming district. Do we want to add one more place of note in the farming district by any chance, or is it because it's
Um,
small and on the outskirts that we only really need Toes
I,
farm for
I
now?
I think because it's small, we only really need the one kind of point.
Do we? Oh,
Um,
hang on. Do we need? I almost completely forgot about this, but the ruler of Slate Town. Do we do want
oh,
to?
I hadn't forgotten. I was going to get to that next.
Oh, okay.
Because what we want to think about is basically like, do we have a mayor? Do we have a like a chief? What do we have? Is it
Even a
like a
king,
king?
even?
Like
Yeah.
like maybe not a king because it's
Oh
still a
yeah.
town, but like a baron or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
And then it's like, and then like I was going to suggest straight from into there. It's like the guards.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um. So like, I do want to make Slate Town, for all intents and purposes, a relatively easy place to live, or at least
Yeah.
one that the players can come to see as their home base for all intents and purposes.
Hmm.
So I don't want to make like, oh, there's a seedy like corrupt element and the players have got to overthrow it to like
No.
save the town. I just want, relatively speaking, if there is any corruption, I want it to be like low level stuff that they like.
Or if it is corruption, it is caused by the bad guys for the
Y-
plot.
yes, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And like for all intents and purposes, like all the NPCs in this place are like friendly or can be friendly. Okay,
Yeah.
so what were you thinking as like the ruler of this place?
Um, like, because like realistically, it just comes down to, is it basically a mayor or is it some sort of like noble? And that would basically be a slightly bigger question
I
for
mean,
the
semantic.
scenarios.
I mean,
Yeah.
semantics wise, barons are nobles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, but it's basically like, is it just a town that's just like got a mayor, someone who was elected,
Yeah. Oh, I
or
see what you
or
mean now.
is it someone placed there in charge of it
I
by like a king or an emperor or something?
okay. See, I have two school of thoughts about this. If
Hmm.
it's a baron, there could
Yep.
be political stuff from the outside, which can be a bit complicated. If it's a
Yep.
mayor and someone elected, there could be a side quest to either get re-elect a different mayor or that mayor getting the players' help to have him stay elected.
Yes.
So
But
it's
I
still
mean, like,
political, but for like different
yeah,
reasons.
yeah, and like, it's not like you can't do something similar with a baron, where it's like, hey, I've had some problems. Maybe there is a baron, and
Oh,
people are like, hey, we want to elect a mayor instead, and you can be running for the position of mayor.
I like this, but I don't want it to get too
Yeah.
political. Just because, as we
Hmm.
said, this is recipe for adventure. We want to make this
Yeah.
as straightforward as possible.
Yeah.
Um.
I don't think there being a baron or a count in charge does affect it too much for like simplicity's sake.
Okay. Okay. Fair.
It,
What?
it, it's just a matter of like,
What?
because
What?
we will journey to other places.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So did we just want to be like, hey, you're part of a kingdom, or you're just
Put it in the
part of like,
background. But
no.
yes.
Yeah.
Say as a baron. What area will he live in? Will he live in the residential district, or is there a
I,
completely
I
different?
I imagine he will live in like upper class residential district.
Hey, the. Do we actually want to give this place a specific name, like the Treasure District, or?
Um, I personally think, since this town is still small to medium,
Yeah.
that it's probably not big enough to be its own district.
Okay. Okay. So we'll
I,
just
I imagine it's like he lives in the residential district, but he just has like the block to his house.
okay, so we will put in the residential district. So we what do we name the Baron?
Ooh, I don't know why, but the first thing that came to my mind was Von Cleef. I don't know. Is there a Von Cleef? Where am I getting Von Cleef from? Von Cleef. What is
On
Von Cleef? Von Cleef and Arpels is a French luxury jewelry company.
on
That's that way. That's Van Cleef. No, I'm looking for Von Cleef. Is there a Von Cleef?
try
There
with a
is.
K.
Uh, Von Cleef. There apparently is a Von Cleef in family history, but since I do not recognize anything relating to it when I type into Google, I apparently did just come up with that on the spot somehow. Cool.
Baron von Cleef with a K.
Yeah.
Baron von Cleef. So we'll just call it Mansion.
Yep.
Baron von Cleef Mansion runs the town, has an entire block.
Yep.
Runs the town. We would own an entire block. The residential district themselves. Would we say he's like a very hands-off ruler, like just collecting taxes and like getting the guards to patrol and whatnot?
Uh,
Like, what's this guy's reputation? Like, oh, Baron von Cleef is a great leader, or is like, oh, yeah, he gets the job done, or, oh, the taxes are too high under him. Like,
I part of me has like an image. I was
yeah,
like, oh god, you got a Baron? That must suck. And then it's just like the Baron's gone. It's like you can't talk to the Baron today. It's like, really? Why? Oh yeah, the Baron's like off in the reefs battling a kraken or something. Like I just like I don't know why, but the first thought that came to my mind is just like almost like an Aquaman kind of guy who
okay.
just works with the sailors and protects the port.
More specifically, his seneschal, is that what it's called?
Seneschal is I believe correct.
Seneschal runs it. So, all right, runs the town, or more specifically, his seneschal runs it. Um, Baron von Thief is actually away most of the time at sea, literally fighting sea monsters for fun.
I
Often,
imagine it's like for fun, but it also helps protect the trade routes. So
often
it,
citing it as guarding the trade routes,
yeah,
which,
uh,
in fairness, it does.
yeah, I think that's fun, right?
Yeah, just this random, like, do we actually want to talk, like, stat up or even talk about what Baron von Cleef is, or do we just want to make it a mystery? So, like, if they're ever at sea, they see like a Hydra running in the opposite direction, and like its like ears and neck are like torn apart, and they see this little tiny figure like doing free strokes chasing after it, and they don't get a clear view of who it is, and then everybody's like, "Oh, there goes Baron von Cleef."
I'm not sure. Like part of me is like I love the idea of him just being in the background,
Like just a
but
Chuck Norris-esque figure.
yeah, just check my figure in the background. I could also see a situation where it's like near the end of the campaign, you have to take a boat to get to your destination, and for that brief bit of time, you get to be on the same boat as the Baron,
Yeah, like
and so you get to like maybe you get to fight a sea monster alongside the Baron for a little bit while you travel to your destination.
and like that could be the reason like even though he's way more powerful than the players,
Yeah,
like I'm assuming like 1v1ing say a Hydra or a Kraken, you'd have to be pretty damn high level.
yeah,
um but like his excuse on why he can't do the quest, because I always need a reason why these high level characters aren't doing the quest, is because, well, he's protecting the trade routes. There's more sea monsters to fight. If he leaves them alone, the sea monsters can overwhelm things.
yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, sometimes it's just the case of like, hey, there's not one monster here, there's two, and I can handle one. Two is a bit tricky while protecting the boat.
Mm, 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 mm. So, Baron von Cleef, 100%? I just love him. Like, stat wise,
Yeah,
what is he going to be? Is he going to be a ranger and, like, his hated enemy is just going to, favorite enemy literally just be sea monsters? If that's a
yeah.
thing?
I kind of dig that. Just, just like, yeah, he's the ranger, but it's just like the ocean. I could almost like have an Ishmael moment with him
Oh my
with
god.
one particular monster out there.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that. So we'll just say sea monsters is his favorite enemies. I know that's not
Yep.
specific, like rules wise, rules as written, that's not really a thing per se, but like for this, we'll just make it
Yeah.
a thing. And then natural exploit, you're particularly familiar with one type of natural environment, the ocean.
Ocean.
So
Yep.
difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. He could just literally run across water and be completely fine if it's the ocean. It's so dumb. Oh my god, that's so stupid and I love it.
Yep.
Um, okay, what does favorite enemy do? Gives you advantage on tracking them. Does it give you advantage on damage or anything like that? It doesn't say.
The original version of the Ranger did not really give you anything until like level 20.
Oh, that sucks. Because I remember in 3.5, you literally did like d6 extra damage against favorite enemies. Doesn't look like that's a thing here. Uh,
Um, Basically, Foe Slayer, level 20. Once on each of your turns, you can add your Wisdom modifier to the attack roll or the damage roll of the attack you make against one of your favorite enemies.
that seems substandard.
Well, Ranger was unfortunately a bit lacking in its initial baking.
Hmm.
But that's why a lot of the Ranger went through a lot of like retooling and rehashing and adjusting. Because as of how they rebalanced Ranger, you rather than like setting a natural foe, you then pick a foe on the spot.
Oh.
Yeah, the
So they made
rather
it
than
more
favorite enemy,
versatile.
it's like favored foe is basically first time on each of your turns when you hit the enemy you choose, you can deal damage to it, basically giving you a little bit of bonus damage to it.
Okay, so
Um,
literally you like just
yeah,
camera freezes, like zooms in on the eyes, sort of thing.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It becomes more of a like like target an opponent that you can see in the moment, whereas favored enemy is more of a generalized, you know more about your target and such.
Hmm. I wonder if
But
we want to
yes,
keep him
uh,
as a
well, I mean,
ranger.
because he is an NPC,
I
it
guess we.
is it's 100% fine to keep him like with the standard flavor
Yeah.
that he has.
Okay, okay. So we don't have to anything. So what do we want to talk about his race right now, or just ignore it for now because he's not going to be too important until like late.
Yeah, I think I think we'll get around to it. I don't think his race technically matters. I could easily imagine him as a human. Maybe he's a Triton himself. Maybe he's a sea elf.
Actually, you know what? Has many outlandish rumors about him. Most are jokes, but many residents of Slate Town secretly wonder if how many are true. Like there's
Yeah,
that little doubt. It's like, oh yeah, he can kill three. He once killed two hydras by ripping off one head, making it grow to full size, and using it as a club. Oh, that's hilarious. And then like secretly, I wonder if that actually happened.
yeah.
So like, we probably won't make him like completely outlandish when we eventually stat him and all that stuff. And like,
I'd still make him nice and strong though,
oh yeah,
enough enough that he could be like
enough that
maybe,
they
maybe.
decided to make the rumors about him in the first place.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, okay, I like that. I like that. So I think we've done the basic outline of Slate Town just fine. I think we can actually start starting up the first
before we
adventures.
get to that,
Yep.
like the seneschal runs, like, do we have just like standard guards for the town?
Oh, right. We want guards. What will you think? I think standard guards is okay, just because like we want to keep
Yeah,
it basic sort of thing. So just standard
yeah.
guards.
Standard guards, standard guards. Okay, nice and simple. I just wanted to have that chat before we moved on.
Okay. Um, and you know what? I think this is a good time to stop, and then next time we'll talk about the actual first quest, like what the first game will look like at Silvertoe's farm and such like that. Like we'll actually be writing the script of the module, the NPCs for it, all that stuff. Maybe
Oh
the
yeah,
map. All
that'd
right.
be fun. Also, has that time passed already?
Yeah.
Dang. I was having too much fun.
It's this is fantastic fun. Yeah. So I roughly want these sessions to go for about an hour or so, but bit longer over, completely fine. Anyways, everybody, that's a recipe for adventure. Come back next time for more. Comment, like, and subscribe if you have any ideas that we can put into adventure. Well, please let us know. And until next time, bye bye.
Ciao.